But would a fine sister like her even listen? Probably not. She didn't even listen to her grandfather, who was her last living relative, so why would she ever listen to him? He knew the type. Educated. Bourgeois. Good job. And thought she knew everything. The type that didn't appreciate anything and took everything for granted. The kind that thought that just because he didn't have a so-called good job or a real place to live, that he didn't know nothing. Might serve her sedity ass right if he did let the shades take her. Rashid heaved another stack of papers onto the pile he was creating, so the police didn't chase him away like a homeless vagrant. That was the thing. He had a place to stay. Mr. Abe saw to that. The old antique dealer was cool peeps, and they'd bartered a service arrangement. He was security and kept the young thugs away from the old man's door. Abe Morgan allowed him to sweep up and sleep on a cot in the back. Why the man's granddaughter had such a problem with the transaction was beyond him. He glimpsed at her building again to be sure she hadn't come out while he was stacking his newspapers. He had a lot to tell her, if she'd believe him. But he also had to wait until the right time to approach a woman like that. Couldn't come out of the blue and seem like he was high on something. He wasn't no druggie, though. With the kind of shit he saw, he didn't need no drugs. Wasn't trying to alter reality any more than it had already been altered. His mind was all he had. Couldn't jack with that. Most days, that's where he lived. Inside his head. That was the safest place in the world. Only thing was, how would he convince her that he hadn't had a psychotic break like the Veterans Administration claimed? Demons were chasing him, no matter what the doctors said. Her being a lawyer and all meant that she'd probably dig into his old records or something, and then wouldn't trust him. Would think he was trying to scam the old man out of his old junk in the store, or something equally crazy. But he'd let her know up front that he didn't beg for money, had always earned his, had worked for over 20 years for the military and had a pension coming, had a small disability check that was all he needed, paid taxes, had given his life to his country, had served well and served hard in the Gulf War. Hell no, he wasn't some parasitic junkie that ate out of the garbage. He was a vegan. Rashid looked at his newsprint-smudged hands. His clothes might be old, but he was clean. Kept his body fit. The body was his temple. Did Tai Chi every day. Played dominoes with the old men, the best players, every day to keep his mind sharp. With the task of arranging papers on his corner turf completed, relief swayed his gait as he sauntered across the park to his favorite bench. All he needed was a few moments to rest and take a load off his feet. It had been a long night of walking the neighborhoods. 3 robberies aborted. Not bad. But it seemed like the shades were beginning to gather and get denser each evening. It was as though time was set on fast forward, and he'd noticed that the crime pace had picked up ever since the real millennium change had taken place. He glanced back at his pile of papers, knowing that he could run back to his territorial spot if someone tried to steal one. Daylight. Praise God. He no longer needed to stand watch for her so close to the apartment building, now that the sun would be her shield. At least we've both lived to see another morning, he thought. Staying focused on that goal had made him temporarily impervious to the bone-chilling temperatures. Light was good. Although it was as cold as hell today, a brilliant full-color spectrum of sunshine washed the streets gold. It had helped to chase all of the shades back down into the steam vents and sewers. The buds would soon be out on the branches, along with the quarreling squirrels. Thankfully, it wasn't a normal gray winter day, one that allowed the shades more time to slither away into